TFR Talk.
This is Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth.
Welcome back. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth. Happy Friday to y'all. Head on over to the Facebook page. I'll be posting the Valhalla Project, which our guest, author, soldier, man who has served his country, a veteran, served as a Green Beret in Vietnam. He has written numerous books, and he is also the president of the Valhalla Project, as mentioned. Pretty big day for us all, and honoring our veterans this Monday, November 11th. Our guest, Colonel Gordon Cucullu. Welcome, Colonel. Welcome back.
Oh, always great to be on with you, particularly, now that we're going into Veterans Day weekend. I think that's especially appropriate, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you. Let's just begin with that. Valhalla Project, I don't think we can talk about this enough in the sense of what you have done throughout your life, but now are doing with your best half, Chris. You have a project that is serving veterans who are coming back from the war zone and integrating back into society.
Yes, we are, and it's been very successful so far, and we've had, in fact, we got a pretty serious crowd coming. Some have already arrived that'll be here over the weekend, and we're looking forward to a pretty exciting experience with them. They're going to get their hand to try some permaculture stuff, and we'll give them a lot of everything here is hands-on, as Crane, as you know, and they'll get a chance to try their hand at some of this, and we'll be doing everything from earth moving to improved gardening and livestock techniques. So it should be a really informative, fun weekend, and it's always good for us to interact with these folks because every time somebody comes here, frankly, we learn too, and we feel like they leave a little stronger, a little more confident in themselves. So it's turning out to be quite the thing, and it's certainly keeping me busy in my old age here.
Yeah, well, nobody knows you're old. I mean, I'm telling you, you do more than most of us.
That's our little secret, Crane. We're not going to share it with the listeners.
Yeah, that came out wrong, but hey, it's Friday. People are rolling with it. Hey, Colonel, just what is the biggest challenge in connecting people with your organization? Because I do want to hit this and understanding what veterans are going through. What is the number one challenge for you?
I think the biggest challenge is simply informing that once most folks who are, by the way, very generous in their support find out about Valhalla, well, then they're eager to participate in some form or another. I mean, everybody can't come out here, but certainly somebody knows a veteran or might recommend them to come out here. They might say, well, this is a cause that I'd like to get behind and make a contribution, either something in kind or financial. And the best place to find out about it is simply get on either Facebook under our page, Valhalla Project, or go to our website, valhalla-project.com. And, we've got photos, we've got all kinds of stuff there, and you'll actually see the faces of the soldiers that we're trying to help. And I think that's very important for people to know that this isn't some kind of off-the-wall thing, that we got real people here, and they're having real experiences, and it's not only important for them, I think it's important for the country.
Well, it certainly is, and when you say that, it makes everybody turn and listen, because you, again, have been dedicating yourself to the cause of not only our country, but those who have served our country along with you. Let's go to the issue of national security. Our president gave an interview with Chuck Todd. We've been just dissecting that interview for a little bit. But in this particular clip, the president is speaking about Iran and the next approach, or the new approach going forward, which we will hear from after that, Bibi Netanyahu's reaction to that. Roll it.
So we don't have to trust them.
What we have to do is to make sure that there is a good deal in place from the perspective of us verifying what they're doing and that they're actually moving in the right direction. We can test it. We don't have to dismantle sanctions to do it. If, in fact, that proves to be a possibility, then it's greatly preferable to us ratcheting up that conflict higher and higher, which ultimately might lead to some sort of confrontation. And I've said that I won't take any options off the table, including military options, to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. But the best way to assure ourselves that Iran's not getting a nuclear weapon is if we've got a verifiable means that they have decided themselves and are dismantling that program, and international organizations can see what they're doing. And
All right, now that seems like, hey, that's the best way to do it. But let me ask you this, Colonel, when you hear this from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, roll it.
I met Secretary Kerry right before he leaves to Geneva. I reminded him that he said that no deal is better than a bad deal. And the deal that is being discussed in Geneva right now is a bad deal. It's a very bad deal. Iran is not required to take apart even one centrifuge. But the international community is relieving sanctions on Iran. For the first time after many years, Iran gets everything that it wanted at this stage, and it pays nothing. And this is when Iran is under severe pressure. I urge Secretary Kerry not to rush to sign, to wait, to reconsider, to get a good deal. But this is a bad deal, a very, very bad deal. It's the deal of the century for Iran. It's a very dangerous and bad deal for peace in the international community.
Colonel, does that scare you? It freaks me out a little. Your thoughts? When you hear the Prime Minister make that kind of statement. And, Colonel, what does it do when you hear, I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu is not hyperbolic. And many times, in fact, I think when we look at what's this administration's approach to Israel is, we are really quite angry, and we see the fact that that what they asked them to do is moving to their destruction, to their demise. And now he is speaking out against this deal that will not address the dismantling, and the verification is obviously deeply troubling to the Prime Minister. Your thoughts?
I think it's more than deeply troubling. I mean, that's probably, and I would challenge the listeners to come up with another time, but that's probably the most disturbed that I have ever heard Bibi Netanyahu in a public statement. I mean, it's clear to me that he is excruciatingly upset and worried about where this is going, because unlike some of our pundits and politicians, he's had his back to the door his whole life. He knows what it's like to live under the gun. And what he's seeing right now is a reflection, I think, of what I would call Munich redo here, that the U.S. is getting ready to toss away Israel in order to come up with what he correctly describes as a phony deal with Iran. And I think that if I were in his shoes, I'd be every bit as worried. And I think that the listeners need to understand that when you hear this kind of emotional talk out of a man who typically isn't very emotional, he's strong, but he usually is very much in control. When we hear this out of a gentleman like this, it should give us a great deal of pause, because what he's seeing is handwriting on the wall, and clearly nobody in this administration sees it, and or wants to see it. I think it's a blind eye kind of thing, Crane. I think this administration is so desperate to have some kind of win in their column that they're willing to do anything, including toss Israel over the side, simply to be able to say, "Oh, well, we got to deal with the Iranians, and nobody else could." And I agree with the Prime Minister. I think that this is going to be a giant step toward conflict in the Middle East.
And when we talk about conflict, we're dealing with a potential nuclear conflict.
Oh, absolutely. Let's not take other weapons of mass destruction off the table, because the Iranians have them, their neighbors have them, and they've proven in the past that they're all too willing to use these devices if given the opportunity to get away with it. Unlike a country or a group of countries that have moral responsibility, the only moral responsibility that the Iranians perceive is to bring back the 12th Imam, and this is so deeply embedded in their religious culture that they're willing to bring the whole world literally down around their heads in order to accomplish this. And I think we need to take this with the utmost seriousness.
What's interesting is Chamberlain arrived to cheers and ovations from folks in peace in our time, but that quickly turned. And now we're in a nuclear age, and we have a enemy in Iran that has said that they are interested in wiping Israel off the map. And as you said, their theology is about that, bringing back the 12th Imam through genocidal Armageddon. Deeply troubling, to say the least. Colonel, pleasure to be with you. Thanks for making time for us. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for all you do. And I'm going to be calling you for a quick interview on Monday, too. So please keep that
great.
in mind.
And, I hope that all the folks out there, if you run into a vet this weekend, try to make it a point to do so, and just thank them for their service. Doesn't have to be anything effusive. Just kind of a smile and a nod is usually enough to let us know, and we do appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all
Thank you,
do.
Crane.
Take care.
All take care. Have a great weekend.
All right. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth. On the flip side, Seton Motley is on deck, taking some swings, and he's going to be addressing Cuccinelli loss, Christie's win, and de Blasio, New York. What does it mean? AFR Talk. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth.